Well, a very blessed good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are, and welcome to the Fauzan Harun sports segment today. And today, you can see from my face that I'm very much excited for that matter. You know that what happened, and Chelsea won 3-1 at the Wembley Sports Stadium against our arch rivals Manchester United to pick a ticket to the finals of the FA Cup, where it's going to be an all-London affair against Arsenal's who also were in fantastic shape last Saturday. They defeated Pep Guardiola's Manchester City by 2-0, and so it's going to be an all-London affair at Wembley again when the final day kicks off, for that matter. And today my task for this video is to analyze the Manchester United Chelsea game, the match that was played yesterday, the 3-1 thrashing of Manchester United. I will call it even 3-0 because that penalty was another gift from the referee, as Manchester United are used to. Referees are giving them gifts and penalties which are not supposed to be given to them. And so I will classify this penalty as part of those gifts, though there was a little bit of contact. But that contact, in my opinion, didn't merit a penalty to be awarded, for that matter. And it was childish on the part of Kalum Osolo-Odoi to go in for that tackle after Frank Lampard, in his earlier pre-match interviews, cited a concern and highlighted the reason why players should carefully tackle Manchester United players, as they are deemed to be given favors by referees. And so I didn't know what came what came into the heads of Kalum Osolo-Odoi to go in for that tackle, for that matter. And the match, as you are aware, kicked off with a cautious pace from both sides. Chelsea and Manchester United, though Chelsea were controlling the game, but both sides were careful not to open up so quickly in the game. Because, mind you, games of this nature, Manchester United and Chelsea, anybody that concedes the first goal tend to act and play under pressure, which wouldn't be good for either side. And before I continue the show, if you are, today is your first day of joining me on this show, please do well to hit and touch the red subscribe button, as well as to touch the notification bell. Send in your comments, it's very important. Share the program as well to reach a larger audience, for that matter. And once again, I've been impressed by the level, tremendous level of support that you have given the channel so far since its inception at the beginning of the year. And gradually, we are moving on. We are in our 7th month, and hopefully the number of subscribers will increase. I will do my part. Your subscribers will also do your part to increase the number. I will produce the videos for you and the shows for you. So we hope you compliment my effort by hitting the subscribe button. If you're already a regular and constant viewer of this channel, please do well to market the channel to your friends as well as your loved ones, to also have a feel of the kind of enjoyment that you are used and being treated to. So there were so many talking points in this game, one of which is the issue of David De Gea. And honestly, I think he had a bad day in the office. He had a bad day, but the kind of criticism and bashing that is coming from the side of Manchester United against David De Gea is quite unfair to him, because this is a goalkeeper who has been doing so well for your team for so many years running, because he's a goalkeeper who has won Manchester United Player of the Year for, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row. And so he doesn't need this kind of treatment and bashing for a game which I honestly think that we had the luck of the day. Chelsea had the luck of the day, though, despite our impressive showing. Still, we are missing chances. And don't let the scoreline deceive you. Chelsea is still not converting chances. These 3 goals, strange circumstances, it occurred under strange circumstances. If David De Gea had been positive and put in a very good performance, 2 of those goals would have been prevented from entering Manchester United's net. And so I still think Chelsea, we are not shooting enough, or in this game I think we had a couple of shots in this game which went off target for that matter. So still our conversion is still an issue for us to deal with, and I still urge my coach, our legend Frank Lampard, to still work on our players at the Cobham training ground with respect to conversion of chances. We are still lagging behind when it comes to conversion of chances, and in this game too we had a couple of chances which we didn't utilize effectively. Likewise Manchester United, who also had some chances which they didn't utilize effectively. And so I am concerned about Chelsea side. We should have utilized our chances for that matter. So I think the criticism of David De Gea is uncalled for. They should keep calm and trust him, because I even said in one of my comments that if we Chelsea we will be willing, if Manchester will be ready to swap David De Gea for Kepa, I would be very happy, because I think David De Gea, despite him having a bad day, is still a top-notch goalkeeper in the world in terms of classification of goalkeepers. Let me look at the lineup and look at some performances of some of the players. Chelsea had Caballero in goal, Marcos Alonso again with a fantastic performance there, and we also had Zuma, Reece James, Azpilicueta and Rudiger. I still prefer the Zuma Rudiger partnership and Azpilicueta 3-back there partnership. Alonso, I still always will vouch and support Alonso. Sometimes he may have bad games, but he's a good player. Again, in this game he put in a splendid performance. Mason Mount, super, unique. I'm even short of positive words to describe his performance. Unique. He had that shot there, that second goal for that matter. Jorginho, Kovacic also did well equally. Giroud, fantastic. Willian also, the runs were coming in here and there. He did well as well, doing in the runs for Chelsea. And in this game, I think there wasn't so much pressure on our defense. Again, somebody will say I'm being negative again, despite Chelsea winning. No, I'm not negative. Chelsea is used to putting in consistent performances in terms of good performances. And so if we can't put in consistent performances, if even we win matches, I will still call in for reinforcement. And that's why I'm calling for Lampard to go in for some players, for a top-notch defender at the back and a goalkeeper for that matter. Remember, we still need to sign in a goalkeeper, because Willy Caballero, though quite calm and comfortable in this game, has proven not to be a good substitute and reliable, has not given effective competition to Kepa Arrizabalaga. And so many were times that he was given opportunity to cement the number 1 slot of Chelsea. He failed woefully, and so I wouldn't use one game as a yardstick to erase the kind of negative headaches that we have with respect to we having a good goalkeeper for that matter. And so I will still insist Lampard to go into the market and get a good goalkeeper for us, as well as a top-notch defender and a left fullback for that matter. If Alonso is leaving, I will still need a potent left back in our midst if Alonso is moving. And let's look at because if the issue of consistency comes in, because you will see that this Lampard team is inconsistent in that we had some positive performances in the course of the season. Remember the Champions League game against Ajax, in which we won 1-0 at Amsterdam Arena, as well as we drew 4-4 with them at the Stamford Bridge. We also defeated Liverpool in the FA Cup, now Manchester United in the FA Cup, Manchester City in the Premiership. If we can get these results, we need to be consistent and shouldn't be inconsistent, because we can't be doing well in matches and going to lose home and away to West Ham United, and then going to be trashed at Sheffield United by 3-0. Kai, the issue of recruitment, I think, is still on. Kai Havertz is coming in, hopefully very soon, but I am still urging and advising Lampard to strengthen the defense. In as much as we strengthen the midfield and attack, we also equally need to strengthen our defense, because that is a very important important area or department of the field if we want to challenge for trophies come next season. And so if we want to put in a challenge against Manchester City and then Liverpool, I was very delighted when Lampard is speaking up that Chelsea shouldn't celebrate so much, and I agree with him that he needs to do some work so that to bridge the gap between Chelsea and Manchester City, Liverpool on one side, and Chelsea far lagging behind. He needs to bridge the gap before thinking of overtaking them with respect to positive performances. And so I think I will support him on that. So let's look a little bit about Manchester United, some of their players' performance. De Gea was disastrous. I must agree, he's disastrous, but he doesn't deserve those criticisms. Lindelof too was disastrous, because the first goal of Olivier Giroud, he should have put in a challenge for them. But I'm a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't want to highlight so much on that. The Manchester United vloggers will do that. And Wan-Bissaka, just on and off. Eric Bailey had an injury, unfortunately. We pray he's recovering right now. Harry Maguire had a terrible day. He scored an own goal in the third game after a little challenge from Rudiger. Brendan Williams was on and off too. Didn't really put in a positive performance in this game. But though, as somebody will say, because they've lost, you are easily tempted to criticize all their players. But I think Brendan Williams did a little bit well, despite the fact that Bruno Fernandes too, except the dramatization, he did well, except that sometimes he falls so easily. Now, we shouldn't be used to falling down, because people at the referees will soon bookmark him and notice him. Matic also calm, Fred calm, was substituted. Daniel James was disastrous. Rashford was off in this game. And so it was a bad day for Manchester United, and Chelsea had the luck for the day. And I think we still need consistency and reinforcement at the back. I think before I go, I will still urge you to hit the subscribe button on the channel, share the program, send in your comment, touch the notification bell, so that whenever there's a program, you are going to be alerted accordingly. Thank you very much for spending your precious time to engage me on this channel. God richly bless you. Cheers, and hope to meet you sooner than later. Bye-bye.